there were threats against its employees. I am sympathetic to the concerns that they faced. Having said all that, yes, I think they made a mistake.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you aboard. And that was the president who just wrapped up his year-end news conference just moments ago, saying that Sony made a mistake by pulling the movie The Interview. He was asked a wide range of questions. He spoke for about an hour. He only selected females to ask the questions, which is kind of interesting. He pays them less than men in his White House. So I guess this is his way of somehow showing he's really pro-woman out there. Anyway, he went on to say that the U.S. will retaliate proportionately against North Korea in our own time and in our own way, and he's not going to talk about it any further than by saying just that. The president went on and elaborated on the whole Sony situation and what it means and why Sony should not have capitulated. Here's some more.
We cannot have a society in which some dictator someplace can start imposing censorship here in the United States. Because if somebody is able to intimidate folks out of releasing a satirical movie, imagine what they start doing when they see a documentary that they don't like.
Or a news report that they don't like, actually. And also, he said, what if we start self-censoring ourselves? What if movie companies, houses, and, maybe newscasts, he didn't get specific, but what if we don't create content that we fear might be offensive to others? That would be the ultimate tragedy in all this. And he had one more thing to say about Sony.
Again, I'm sympathetic that Sony, as a private company, was worried about liabilities and this and that and the other. I wish they'd spoken to me first. I would have told them, do not get into a pattern in which you're intimidated by these kinds of criminal attacks.
Right, all right. So there you go. The president also answering questions about Cuba and said that he has no plans. He doesn't think he's ever going to visit Cuba as president. He's a relatively young man, he said, and in the future he might very well go to Cuba and meet with the Cuban people there. He also said that he, doesn't anticipate easy sailing for all his proposals with reopening of relations with Congress. He thinks there's strong support and strong opposition, and it's going to be a work in progress. He then felt it necessary to talk about his conversation with Raul Castro. Just another dictatorial, tyrannical thug. But he has an affinity for those dictatorial, tyrannical thugs. He spits in the face of Netanyahu, but he just has to brag about he hugged Hugo Chavez. He calls and begs to shake the hand of the leader of Iran. And now he talked about his great conversation with Raul Castro. And he said he gave him on the phone, they spoke, and he went on and on and on, Obama did. And he said, and at the end, I apologized to him for speaking for so long. Yeah, that's nice. I'm so glad you apologized. You apologized to the world for the existence of the United States, so why should this surprise us? But he has to tell us he apologized to Raul Castro? And then he talks about the fact that they made a joke about Fidel or something. Who cares? Why are you joking around with these tyrants who have political prisoners in torture chambers? I mean, he's disgusting. I mean, who needs to know it? If you joked about it with them, you're proud of that? How about getting Joanne Chesimard back here? She killed a cop. Oh, I know that's not up there on the priority list, but talk about the jokes you had with him. How about getting the killer of Joe Connor's father, and we're going to have Joe in this studio soon. How about getting him out of Cuba and having him back in the United States to face justice for setting the bombs with the FALN? I joked around with Castro. It was so funny. I apologized to him. You're quite a president. Quite a president. He also talked about the fact the Keystone Pipeline. This man's going to veto the Keystone Pipeline. I mean, let's face it, we know it. He's going to take pleasure in vetoing it. Today he talked about, oh, it's going to create about 2,000 jobs. It's no big deal. We don't know how it's going to affect climate change. Blah, blah, blah. Same old song for 5 years. Republicans are going to put that bill on his desk as the first order of business in the new Congress. You know it, and I know it, and you know that I know that you know it. He's going to veto it, and he's going to do it with a smile, and he's going to dare Congress to override his veto. It's who he is. It's who he is. And he said he will not stop improving the lives of the American people by taking executive action if Congress won't act first. That means get the pen out, baby, because the dictator-in-chief is just getting started. We're coming back with Kyle Smith of the New York Post. Don't go away.